Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about burnout and how when you are burnt out, it can often feel like when you're trying to get yourself out of it, that you seem to put yourself back into the place that you were in before, and like it just is a self-feeding cycle. The same way that high energy sort of things and having a lot of energy and having a lot of positivity in your life can feed into itself and give you more positivity and more energy, the same thing can happen with negative stuff. And I don't know how much control one has over the process at hand. You know, it really matters on if you're like deterministic or if you're a bit more, you know, into the idea of fate, or if you're a bit more into the idea of free will and that kind of thing. I think there's an element of self-imposedness onto the change from positive to negative and negative to positive, as in, you know, you kind of do a little bit of it to yourself. So that means that like I'm a bit burnt out at the moment, right? And I've been burnt out for a couple of weeks and I'm trying to get myself out of it. And I'm looking at what put me into that position in the first place. And I think there's a few things. One was, so I did 2 videos a day for like 3 months, and that was a lot. And I was making music and I was filming a film and I was doing so many things at the same time, and like personal life stuff as well on top of that. And that, you know, I was trying to balance too many plates, and eventually some of the plates fell off, right? And that, so when you see one plate fall, then another plate falls and another plate falls. So maybe, you know, the first plate falling wasn't my fault, but the fact that I reacted in a bit of a panicky way and caused more plates to fall, that side is my fault, right? And that's in part because I'm not very good at juggling plates, and in part because, you know, it's kind of a natural reaction, you know. When one plate falls, you get a little bit like, ah, like that. And I'm being quite literal about the plate spinning analogy, but if you extrapolate it into the idea that, you know, you've got to push yourself forwards in order to keep doing things, you've got to keep improving yourself, so that you can look back on you in the past and definitively say, I have gotten better, and that the person that I am now is a better person than that person that I can see in the past. And if you can do that, then you're doing quite well. And if you can't do that, then you just need to find yourself a way of being able to do it. You know, I'm sure there's something that you do better now compared to the past, even if you're maybe a little bit like less productive, but maybe you have a more well-rounded understanding of the universe. You take what you get, really. Sometimes you like, because I don't think maturity is a linear progression. I think there's been times in my sort of like childhood where I had more of a understanding of the world than I do now, right? About certain things, and obviously like there's things that I know now that are like much more in-depth compared to what I knew as a kid. But honestly, you could have taken 8-year-old me and had him start talking about the solar system. He'd be naming shit that you'd never fucking heard of, that I've never heard of, and I'd be sat there listening to my own self from the past going, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. And I wouldn't have a clue what he was talking about. I wouldn't know what he's on. I genuinely don't know much about space anymore, but I used to know so much about it. And, you know, I think it's because there's only so much room in our head for new information. You know, it's the reason that there isn't like one individual out there who is just an expert on everything. You know, there isn't one person out there like Stephen Hawking probably wasn't that good at, you know, I don't know, something that he's not very good at. He probably wasn't very good at Call of Duty, right? But I don't think anyone was expecting him to be good at Call of Duty. The same way that like you wouldn't expect a tax accountant to be a great footballer. You wouldn't expect a pilot to be able to, you know, navigate his way around a crane, you know, because it's different skills, and you can't have someone that can just do everything, because if we could all just do everything, there'd be nothing left to do. There'd be nothing left to outsource, so everyone would just do everything themselves. Like say if everyone could plumb and be a carpenter and they could do all of that, well, how many industries are gone right away there? You know, everyone can do their own taxes, everyone's just a fucking perfect specimen. There wouldn't be much of a world anymore, because, you know, most of the commodities and that we buy and most of the services that we get are either semi-hedonistic in nature, like, you know, going to the pub or gambling or you know, eating junk food or whatever, or there's something to remedy a mistake that we made. So, you know, like yoga lessons, for instance. People take yoga lessons because they want to, I don't know, lose some weight. Well, why did they gain the weight? Because they were, you know, eating too much, you know? And it kind of works that way. We need a little bit of imperfection in order to make the world continue rotating on its axis. We need a little bit of that. And so, you know, the fact that you're not perfect, don't let that get to you, right? But, you know, just be aware that, you know, there's places you can improve, but you can't improve at everything, and you can't be the best at all things. And, you know, if you were, then, you know, I don't think people would like you very much. You'd just be a bit of a pretentious twat, to be honest. So it's kind of a good thing. It's kind of a good thing that we're not perfect. And yeah, I just think that, getting back onto the burnout thing, burnout happens in part because of the imperfection within man, essentially. We're sitting there, you know, trying to improve ourselves, and in the attempt, we slip and we fall, and we you know, need to get ourselves back up, and then we need to try again. And that's basically the overall human experience, is just trying again and again, and finding different ways to attack the problem and that kind of thing. And, you know, I just think that, for instance, because I'm a bit burnt out at the moment, I feel a little bit like, because as I said, I was juggling too many plates and stuff, and it was my own fault for trying to juggle so many plates. And I knew at the time I was juggling these plates, I'm like, fucking hell, these could fall at any second, you know? And, you know, that happens over months rather than, you know, the seconds that it would be when you're actually spinning plates. But, you know, I could have taken premeditative action to ensure that I didn't burn out, and yet I didn't. So it's my own fault, right? And you know, I think there should be a level of responsibility over that. Like, you fucked it up, so, you know, own it. And it's like, yeah, I did. And that's why the videos for the past, like, you know, maybe week or 2 weeks haven't been very good. And so sorry about that. And yeah, I just sort of was also thinking that with the kind of videos that I do, right, they're not really like chasing a trend. They're not like after, I mean, they are apparently a trend, but they're not, you know, tackling the new fucking issue of the day. So there's not like, I can just go on the news and just go, what am I going to talk about? Oh, what's in the news? Good for Britain, neonicotinoid ban, giving bees priority over sugar beet. Right? Or am I going to just make a video about that? About the Britain's neonicotinoid ban. I mean, well, you could probably get a good half an hour out of that. Sounds like it's a good thing that we banned it. If, you know, something to do with bees, giving bees priority, that's good. We should do that. I mean, the bees are disappearing. They've been disappearing for fucking decades, and, you know, no one seems to be bothered about it. We like to sit around and go, ooh, don't want the bees to disappear, but, you know, we're not actually going to do anything to make sure that they don't. So, yeah, that's kind of grim. And yeah, because these videos don't, you know, attach themselves to any one, like, recent event or topic like that I can just, you know, it's not a renewable thing that I'm doing here. I can't just keep doing this forever. So I'm thinking at some point I'm going to lower it again from one video a day to one video every 2 days, because there's a video that I'm going to do about that whole topic. But I feel like if I do some less of these videos, because I think I've made my point overall, and like you've got a good idea of who I am, what the worldview is, what the point of these videos are. You've seen some good ones, you've seen some bad ones, you've seen some pretty ones, you've seen some ugly ones, you've seen some urban ones, you've seen some nature ones, you've seen some ones on film, some ones on music, some ones on politics, some things on the world and philosophy and bullshit, you know, and then some more introspective ones and stuff like that. You've had a nice little array of them now, and not that I want to stop them by any means, but I do wonder, what good is me just adding to the pile doing in this current moment? And I think that's why I'm a bit burnt out. I'm thinking, why am I doing this to sort of not really provide much of a, you know, additional piece of media? I'm not adding anything to what's already been here before that I've already created. I've made the points, I've tackled the points from various angles, and so I feel like what I should do now is lower it down to one video every 2 days, so that the quality of the videos can go back up, and I can start, because I notice that people like it when I tackle big issues. They like all that, and like I can't tackle a big issue every fucking day of my life, you know? I've got stuff to do, right? And one, I also want to be like a bit more well versed on the issues. Like if I tackle, like, you know, religion this day, and then, you know, government the next day, and then, you know, taxation the next day, and then the police state the next day, and then, you know, love the next day. I can't tackle all this stuff and do it any kind of justice if I just do that every day and I just pump stuff out like that. I like the fact that there's been so many of these videos in such a short span of time, because it is a chapter snapshot of one, who I am, two, kind of what I'm all about, and three, I do like cataloging the process. And so, you know, some things, like the cream of the crop of those videos will rise to the top. And there's some videos in there that are just a pile of shite, and they'll just fall to the wayside. And that's okay, and I don't have a problem with that, right? And I'm not saying, like, you know, I'm never gonna make a shit video again. I certainly am going to, and I intend to. Not like I set out to make a shit video, but I intend to not limit myself and just go, that's not good enough, can't upload it. Because what I notice is sometimes the stuff that I think isn't very good is the stuff that resonates the most with other people. Like all of my favorite videos of mine that I've made where I think I did the best job at this talking thing are all the ones that have like 300 views compared to some of the ones like the one that I've done that's got like 500,000 views. It's not like my favorite. It's all right. It's average. It's average, but it's not one of the best. And yeah, burnout is quite real. I have felt it, and I've been finding ways to tackle it in a different way. As I was saying, you know, you get up and you try again. So I've gotten up and I'm trying it in a different way. And the way that I'm doing things now is that I'm working on a new album. When I get home, I'm going to do another video talking about that more in depth. But yeah, it's because this kind of stream of consciousness sort of thing, I want to take a bit of a breather on it so that I can kind of come back to it with a fresh perspective, because I feel like I've covered most of my overall worldview at this point. And it's not that I'm going to stop making them. You're still going to get them every other day, right? But you're not going to, you know, maybe on the days in between, maybe you'll get something like a bit of music or something. And at some point, I'll probably come back to one a day, or I'll start increasing the scope of each video so that you start tackling more, you know, big topics. I want to do one where it's like a thought experiment where I start off as a Christian. For reference, I am not religious. So I would start off as a Christian, and then I would basically talk myself into being an atheist. But like, I'd be arguing at myself from the point of view of a Christian, and like, you know, try and keep talking myself into it. And the more I do that, the more I would find myself leaning towards the atheist side of things, because I'm not a Christian. But there could be some, you know, I do it with an open mind and stuff, so it would be, the conflict would be in, you know, maybe it will become a Christian. I don't think I would. I don't think that's how the video will end up going. I think the video will end up with me becoming an atheist like I am anyway. With an asterisk next to atheist. Not that I believe in a god or a higher deity, but there is some spiritual sort of stuff in there. But generally I'm sort of, you know, what we see is what we get, you know, and yeah. This video has been a bit all over the place, and I think that is kind of a good way of seeing that I'm a little bit burnt out, is that this has been all over the fucking place, and yeah, I don't much like that. So I've done the quantity over quality experiment for now, and I like going back to the quantity over quality experiment time and time again, because each time I do it, I get better at the quantity, which means that then when I focus on quality for a bit, I take all the lessons from the quantity and move them onto the quality. And then when I try the experiment again, I'm starting from a higher baseline. So I will do the quantity over quality experiment again, and I'll do more of it. I don't know. It feels like a goodbye, but it's not. This isn't a goodbye, because I'm not going to stop making videos. I'm just going to do them every other day rather than every day. Maybe also partly because I feel like I'm not giving my older videos enough of a chance to flourish, because, you know, no one has any reason to go back to the old stuff, because new stuff keeps coming out. So why would they bother going to the old stuff, you know? So maybe that's why I want to, like, take a bit of a breather from it and do it every other day for maybe a month or something, and then come back to it every day. It will also give me a bigger backlog, because the more backlog I have, the more I can actually focus on like work that I should be really getting on with, rather than this. Because this is meant to be like the little like thing that keeps me going, whereas now it's kind of become the main thing that I do. And yeah, I didn't want that to happen, so I want to just sort of refocus course, basically. And yeah, that's basically the video. It's a bit of a fucked one, to be honest. There's no central point to this, but if you got something out of it, then please let me know what that is, because and also let me know what the fuck, like, with these videos, what is it that people want more of out of them, so I can figure that out, so that I can know to do more of certain stuff and less of other stuff, so I can be more entertaining and you know, not that I'm going to get louder or like, you know, Mr. Beastie or whatever, but you know, it'd be nice to be able to cater to my audience and, you know, give you guys what you want. And yeah, lots of fun stuff coming in the future. Album, as I mentioned, Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence. Let's see, a couple other films, new album, I think I already mentioned that. Some little mini comedy series that I'm working on. What else? I think that's it. The email band. Yeah, I think that's it now. Yeah, that's all the stuff that's worth watching or engaging with. And then there's some other stuff that's just to me. Yeah, sorry that this video is a bit shit, but what are you gonna do? I mean, look at the weather. It's not exactly like weather that makes you wanna be high energy. So yeah, that's it really. Thank you very much for watching this video, and take care everybody. Bye-bye. And I'll see you in 2 days, right? I'm not going anywhere, okay? Just thought I'd make that clear.